Welcome back, TTown here. So, earlier we did do a 2 Mega Superstar pack openings, and you saw we actually did get lucky and we got Mankind. So here I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the Gauntlet Blitz and what is probably best in your interest depending on where you are in the game. Whether you're free to play, which you haven't spent any money on the game, which props to you. Sadly, I can't say the same for myself. But whether you're free to play or you are pay to play, it really depends on your outlook on how you should deal with this animal. So, excuse me, let me turn this down. I had this turned up a little bit earlier for some other things, but so as you all should know if you've been playing the game for a while, you can obviously check out the rewards they give you. Whether it's, so they did get rid of the premium tokens and they brought in the token cases. A lot of people are mad about this, but I don't know why they are mad, because people are gonna be mad about anything they put in the game. Like, we want more of this, so the game adds a certain thing, and everyone just gets mad because basically what they do is they replace one thing with what they asked for, which is tokens to evolve the characters, and they get mad. Which, I mean, I can't speak for anyone other than myself, but people are never going to be happy. It's a sad thing. This game, like, people have to get paid. Like, it's a job for some people, so they're not going to be happy until they get what they want. And for the most part, it is 3 stars, 3-star champions. But obviously, you know the hard way that it's got to be paid for. But so for those that are free to play, obviously, I actually recommend. Excuse me one second. Let me turn on this. Between videos, I used to listen to music and I sip on some syrup, you know. But no, so I actually recommend doing the easy mode. You actually can probably get all the 2-star guaranteed tokens from the easy mode. And if you don't know how, I will give you a little info. If you have like one character that's OP, like for reference, let's not do that because it has a requirement. Hopefully you all have that requirement. They do have some requirements, which is a sad story. But if you have one character that is pretty OP, they're making this hard for me to make this for. So I'm going to go down here because usually it's anyone can fill this spot. So basically, let's say you have one OP character like my Ric Flair. Make sure everyone else in this whole group is pretty low. Like, I'm talking like you want 5'10" Dolph Ziggler. You don't want anyone that's decent. You want all your lower characters in this. It's going to take me a second, I apologize, but we are going to aim for all our lowest players, because the thing is, the game looks at your overall talent level, and it kind of does an average on what your talent level is. So yes, my Ric Flair is going to be the outlier at this point, but hopefully, and another thing it does depend on is your luck with the gym board. So if your gym board is straight shit, I mean, it might be a very long Gauntlet Blitz for you, no lie, because I have dealt with that before. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do this. And then previously, before I got my DDP up the size, I always did solo. So this would be about my lane. This would be the characters I'd roll in with, because Usually my Ric Flair would be able to handle just about anything that rolls in his tracks. But as of recent, I have learned that it's always nice to have a backup. And so far right now, that's my DDP. He's been a long ways with me. Whenever I get my Mankind leveled up to where I think he can handle his own, I will bring him in. But for now, we're just going to use these couple characters. So I will be honest, on the hard mode and the hell mode, I have beat the hard mode a couple times. Not many. It is somewhat hard. The hell mode I've gotten like 6 or 7 rounds through, but I haven't found it to where it's worth my champion's health to run through that, because honestly, I'm not super hard aiming for either of those token cases that they have. It hasn't shown me any worth. So I have actually kind of avoided those. It's not worth in my part, but we are actually going to go with one of our lower characters. I can probably get it done easily with either my DDP or my Ric Flair, but I do like these see what kind of the character sets or move sets my characters have, because I never really get to play with my lower characters whenever I actually do something that's, what can I say, I can never actually do any of their moves and stuff because I never use them. So this is basically somewhere where I can use them, see what their movesets are, whether or not I want to use them or not. They're going to get used because they're obviously in the Gauntlet Blitz. So let's see how this goes. It should be interesting. This Roman Reigns looks super buff, actually. That's a funny thing. Let's see how he does. I've actually taken out Andre the Giant. If anyone's wondering on who they should actually level up, Andre, I used him earlier and he took out an opponent. I think my Andre is like 800. His opponent was about 1600 and he took him out. The secret is your submission gems are sacred, man. So you use a submission and it actually decreases their moves for every time they have to do something. Like every time they try to get out of the hold, whatever hold they're in, it decreases their moveset. And it works magic, no lie. But I highly recommend any character you have using that. Like sometimes a submission gem. I apologize for my speech. It's pretty horrible tonight. A submission gem though is very good, and you just want to take full advantage of that. Even with my Ric Flair, if I'm going to get to high person, the first thing I go for is my submission. Like, yeah, I'm not going to get the dub on that, but what you're aiming for is to lower their moves, because their moves do a lot more damage than them just breaking gems. And look at that. It was supposed to be a not victory, but we got a victory with it. So and we got our first 100 2-star chips. I'm pretty sure that Big Cass was probably like 300 talent over us. But if you know how to play right, you can obviously take on people or champions that are over your level. That's a bad move. Don't ever take in someone that's lower. That's the wrong class. So from here, I do think we are going to actually go ahead and roll with our top champions. It shouldn't be a super hard road because there are only 6 characters total. So I mean, if you play right, maybe a little bit of luck with the board, it shouldn't be a hard road. But we will see here. So right away we start out with a decent mix. We do have a wild card. And let's see, what do we want to do at this point? Because I'm not seeing anything with the purple. The yellows, I'm not seeing anything great. Do we have any greens? And we're not good with the greens at the moment. So what we are going to do is do this and see what we can get out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our move, and then I see a four liner we have that should actually finish this match super easily. And let's see if I'm right. Yep, I am right. So we are going to go ahead and finish Enzo. And we have 10 loot cases there. So I have another thing.